and welcome to another episode of Sustainment TV. I'm your host, David McDonald, and before we get into today's video, please feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It will help the channel to continue to grow and improve upon what I do. But without further delay, let's get right into today's episode. In today's video, I'll be talking about some of the ways that property owners can bring about higher rents with their rental properties. Some will be small do-it-yourself things that you can do that you may or may not have thought of, and then some of them will be larger expenditures that you'll have to bring in a professional contractor to take care of for you. The first one is by adding central heating and cooling to your unit. Now, I know this is a larger expenditure that generally has to be done by a professional contractor, but this is one way that you can add lots of comfort and convenience to a potential tenant and definitely bring about a higher rent for your existing property. You definitely want to do your homework on this one in reference to finding the right contractor and ensure that they're properly licensed and insured. The second idea that a potential homeowner could add or change with their existing rental is by adding a dishwasher. Now, this is a pro and a con because, of course, having a dishwasher can bring about some convenience to the occupant. I mean, who likes washing dishes, right? Of course, the con side of it is that it is something else that could require maintenance, something else that could break. So make that determination for your prospective units and in your prospective areas whether or not you could justify adding a dishwasher in relation to how much you will be able to realistically increase your rent. The third idea is by adding a washer and dryer. Now, in some places, this is extremely helpful, especially if I know some units may have a utility closet versus an actual utility room. If it's a space restrictive area, you may want to go ahead and get a washer dryer combination, that a stacking set, or maybe even front loaders. For people that may have affordable housing units, it's an extremely good benefit to have. The fourth idea that I want to bring up is by adding additional storage. Now, all units are not the same, obviously, and if you have the yard space and not necessarily a homeowner association restriction or anything like that, you may want to consider adding a storage shed. I mean, let's face it, people that live in large homes as well as people that live in apartments tend to have storage units, so that could be a big help. Another idea that I wanted to bring to your attention is addressing the parking situation. Now, once again, this is going to be dependent upon your specific situation. If you have the space, you could always pour a new driveway if the driveway is damaged, or if you have a single driveway but you have enough space to maybe add a skirt, you could park a motorcycle or even a full-fledged second car or truck. Adding additional parking could definitely be a way that a tenant will be totally okay with an increased rent. The sixth idea I wanted to bring up concerning improving rents in your properties is addressing your kitchen. I'll give you two examples to consider. Say if you have an electric stove, it may be an older stove that has the coil tops, and every so often food falls out in there. You may even have to change out the cups or plates, or whatever you want to call them, that goes under the coil. You could upgrade that electric stove to a bisque or a glass top, some people call it. That would be a way to dress up the kitchen, make it easier to clean. Also, another idea to consider when looking at your kitchen is your cabinets. Something as easy as changing the hardware and maybe even a paint job to the cabinets, or changing out the fridge. They may have a refrigerator that doesn't have an ice maker. And I know there's pros and cons to that. I get it before some of you say something. But also may even be a refrigerator that's an older unit, may not have as much space. Generally, from my experience when upgrading the kitchen, you want to do a couple things at the same time. If it's a scenario where you have a current tenant, if you're already going to inconvenience them, go ahead and take that extra day or those extra few hours and make the additional changes. The seventh thing I wanted to bring up is the exterior appearance of your property. This could be as simple as adding shutters to the outside of the house, something to spice it up a little bit. If the vinyl siding is worn, or you may want to update the exterior color of your house, something maybe more modern, something that may be trending now versus when the property was built. That's just one way you can improve the exterior appearance of your property. Idea number 8 for your consideration is by adding a carport. And once again, I know that this is a situation where you would have to assess. Adding a carport, depending on whether you did it yourself or if you had a professional come in, adding a carport will be a great way to help a tenant to protect the exterior of their vehicles. Coming home from the grocery store, it's raining cats and dogs. It's a way for them to have some added convenience, some added comfort that will definitely reflect in the rent price that you could require for that. The last idea that I wanted to bring to your consideration is by adding some smart features. You would want to consider who your occupants are or who your would-be occupants are. You may could add a security system, a doorbell cam, a smart lock that they could access from their phone, a thermostat that they could access remotely from their phone. Those are two smart features that are commonly added to homes. So whether or not you decide to tackle these yourself or have a professional come in, these are definitely some ways, some tried and true ways that I have used, as well as friends that have employed these techniques to be able to raise their rents. The last thing I'll give you in terms of consideration is, when do you raise rent? Do you raise it at the end of a lease before going into another one? Or if you have a tenant that's moving out and you're getting ready to, clean and turn the property over and get it ready for someone else, every situation is different. Whether it's you or your property managers, you have a relationship with your tenants, but ultimately you as the homeowner, you're able to make those decisions, but do it smartly, use wisdom. I definitely rely upon online resources as well as friends who are in the business already. Definitely do your homework. I would say do your homework twice and act once. So I hope you found something in this video that was of value. Leave your comments, any questions you may have, a suggestion of something that's worked for you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.